Good day, everyone. I am Jonel Stukianono, Besed Mato A, and I will be your instructor for today. So, the topic that I will discuss to you is the chapter 8 entitled Organizational Leadership. So, let's start with the learning outcomes. At the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain what organizational leadership is, distinguish between leadership and management, describe different organizational leadership styles, explain what situational leadership, servant leadership are, and lastly, discuss how to sustain change in an organization. Introduction. Expected of professional teachers who care for and embark on continuing professional development is a promotion along the way. Whereas in mind, this course won't be complete without a discussion of an effective leader and manager for which you will be in the future. But should you refuse offer for a managerial or leadership position in school or in the bigger educational organization because of the love for teaching and the learners, these lessons on organizational leadership won't be laid to waste because even as teacher, you are already a leader and a manager. The coverage of this topic is all about how to become a good and an effective kind of leader and a manager to the people under your leadership. So in school setting, teachers should be a good educator, mentor, inspirer, and influencer as we would expect, the way they are engaging or the way they are educating children's. Organizational leadership. So organizational leadership, leaders help set strategic goals for the organization while motivating individuals within the organization to successfully carry out assignments in order to realize those goals. So organizational leadership works towards what is best for individual members and what is best for organization as a group at the same time. So organizational leadership does not sacrifice the individual members for the sake of the people, not sacrifice the welfare of the group for the sake of individual members. Both individual and group are necessary. So as we all know, becoming a leader is not easy as we would expect. There were a lot of responsibilities to do for the members and for the organization as well. So as a leader, we should know how to create plans and target goals for the successful organization that we are looking for. So it cannot be denied that in an organization, there were uniqueness and differences with the members, including the skills, abilities, behaviors, and even though perceptions towards something. So there were some who fell down or out of the place, maybe because they were felt uncomfortable, or it might be they were shy to go out of their shells, as well as maybe because they were very introvert. So as a leader, we should seek ways how to help them realize the goals and success that we would like to reach with. So we can act as a good mentor, a good motivator, and a good communicator as well, the way we are engaging with them. So and nurture the relationship we had so that we can energize the members for the better organization. So organizational leadership is also an attitude and a work ethic that empowers an individual in any role to lead from the top, middle, or bottom of an organization. Applied to the school setting, the school leader helps anyone from the organization, not necessarily from the top, to lead others. So leaders should be fair and no to bias and favoritism as much as possible. Remember that we have unique ways how to manage or organize the group for the better outcomes that we are expecting, the way we are viewing the victory of our victories. So if I am a leader, I rather to give chance with my members to take a lead in the organization, because I know that if we the leaders have trust and fully believe to our members that they can do it, the way also they are motivated to do and to looking forward the possible ways how they can improve and develop the organization. Next is leadership versus management. So are leadership and management synonymous? Is a leader a manager, or is a manager a leader? If I am a good leader, does it follow that I am also a good manager? Or if I am a good manager, am I at the same time a good leader? So I believe that leadership and management are not synonymous. However, they are related to each other. So school head must be both a leader and a manager. So a school head leads the school and community to formulate the vision, mission, goals, and school's improvement plan. This is a leadership function. So he sees to it that this plan gets well implemented on time and so ensures that the resources needed are there. So the persons to do the job are qualified and available. So this is a management function. Managers versus leaders. So managers are administer. So their process is transactional, meet objectives and delegate task. So from the root word transaction, so they will only do the task transactional. So if they finish the task on time so that it's over. So however, the other one is innovate. So their process is transformational, develop a vision and find a way forward. So from the root word also transformational, which means to transform. So leaders are not satisfied with the status of the organization. Instead, they are seeking ways and looking forward for the more outcomes that they were targeting. Next is managers are work focused. So the goal is to get things done. They are skilled at allocating work. So managers only focus for the things done. And for the leaders, people focus. So the goals include both people and results. So they care about you and want you to succeed. So both focusing the outcomes of the organization and their people. Next is have subordinates. Managers have subordinates. So they create circles of power and led by authority. However, leaders have followers. So they create circles of influence and lead by inspiring. Managers do things right. So managers enact the existing culture, maintain status. However, the leaders do the right thing. Leaders shape the culture and drive integrity. So types of skills demanded of leaders. First, technical skills. Second, human skills. And lastly, conceptual skills. So technical skills refers to any of process or technique like sending emails, preparing a PowerPoint presentation. So it is expected for you as a leader that you have a technical skills including how to use such devices and technologies. Especially nowadays that we are covered by the social media and technology and in fact we are dependent on that. So it makes our works become easier, such as making PowerPoint presentation, video presentation, emails, pages on Facebook, and a lot more. So human skill is the ability to work effectively with people and to build teamwork. This is also referred to as people skills. So you should be a good communicator and a good collaborative one. So that you can easily connect them the way you are engaging with them, as well as you can build or create a better relationship with them and a good camaraderie as good as possible. Next is conceptual skill. So it's the ability to think in terms of models, frameworks, and broad relationships such as long-range plans. So you should be able to make plans or a long-range plan where both the organization and the members could be benefited. Next is leadership styles. So there are four leadership styles. First is autocratic leaders. Second, consultative leaders. Third, democratic leaders. And laissez-faire leaders. So autocratic leaders. So do decision making by themselves. So they are the leaders who did not bother to consult or ask some ideas, suggestions or decision with these here members. Instead, they are doing it by their own self. So this means that they are look like not believe the capacity of these here members, or maybe because they were greedy by the power, so that they are taking aside all the suggestions of the members for the sake of organization. Second is consultative leaders. So allow participation of the members of the organization by consulting them but make the decision themselves. So they are the leaders that allowing the members to participate, but eventually they denied or throw all the decision and suggestions of the members. Instead, only their decision would win. So, ilan lang mangyapon nga decision ang masunod. Third is democratic leaders. So, allow the members of the organization to fully participate in decision making. Decisions are arrived at by way of consensus. So, this style is better than other because the fairness of everyone are there and there is no bias at all. And lastly is laissez-faire leaders. So leaders avoid responsibility and leave the members of the organization to establish their own work. So this would one of the characteristics of Filipino weaknesses, which is kanya-kanya. And leaders don't want to take the responsibility to take a lead, as well as the members don't care towards the group. So kanya-kanya. Next is the situational leadership model. So, in situational leadership model, now effective leaders adapt their leadership style to the situation of the members of the organization. Example, to the readiness and willingness of group members. Paul Hersey and Kenneth Blanchard, 1996, characterized leadership style in terms of the amount of task behavior and relationship behavior that the leader provides to their followers. So they categorize all leadership styles into 4 behavior styles, which they name S1 to S4. So S1, selling or directing. Individuals lack the specific required for the job in hand and they are willing to work at the task. They are novice but enthusiastic. S2, teaching or coaching. So individuals are more able to do the task. However, they are demotivated for this job or task, unwilling to do the task. S3, participating or supporting. So, individuals are experienced and able to do the task but lack the confidence or the willingness to take on responsibility. And lastly, S4 or delegating. So, individuals are experienced at the task and comfortable with their own ability to do it well. So, they are able and willing to not only do the task but to take responsibility for the task. So, in the group member is able, willing, and confident, it is high readiness. And if the leader uses a delegating leadership style, the leader turns over the responsibility for decisions and implementation to the members. So, on the other hand, if the group members have low readiness, unable, and unwilling, the leader resort to telling the group members what to do. Next is servant leadership. By Robert K. Greenleaf, 1977, coined the paradoxical term servant leadership. He describes the servant. Okay, so servant first begins with the natural feelings that one wants to serve. Then conscious choice bring one to aspire to lead. So the best test is, do the serve grow as person? Though they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants, and what is the effect on the least privileged in society? Well, they benefit or at least not be further deprived. So, for example, a lot of people ask me why would I choose becoming a teacher where there were a lots of courses out there were best and such for me. So I said that teaching is a noble profession. So I'm not saying that other courses is not a noble profession, but I believe that teacher is my profession and teaching is my mission. So I want to become a servant to my children's, because I'm not a typical servant. I am a servant who have a power to educate, to inspire, and to influence children and people through my words, behaviors, and things that I've done where I were a great influences to them. So I only want to serve my service to people where I can help them to boost them into their success in life. So the first desire of the servant is to serve. How? By leading. So the greatest teacher of humankind, Jesus Christ, was a servant leader. So he taught his disciples, he who wants to great must be the servant of all. So the life of the greatest teacher was a life of total service to all. So we often hear the term public servants to refer to appointed and elected officials of the government to emphasize the fact that they indeed are servants of the people. So the first duty is to serve, and in serving they lead. They don't think of their power as leaders first. So if they do, they tend to become more conscious of their importance felt over their conscious of their power over their constituents, and tend to impose that power or make their importance felt over their constituents, and forget that ever they are given power, it is to serve their people. So someone said, power corrupts. And I need it thus when leaders think first of their power and forget the very reason why such power was given. Example, to serve. The greatest teacher said. So, as a leader, so the first duty that we have is to serve our people. So, as I have observed in the political matter, so there were a lot of politicians who abused their power. How? So, through corrupting the benefits, I mean the money of the people. So, in this case, they are using the power as a leader to take an advantage in anything. So instead they are serving the people, so the people are serving them, which is not good and an inappropriate one. So servant leadership seeks to involve others in decision making, is strongly based in ethical and caring behavior, and enhance the growth of workers while improving the caring and quality of organization life. So the school head who acts as a servant leader forever remembers that she is there to serve her teacher, the students, the parents, etc., and not the teacher learner's parents to serve her. So in school, we the teacher should keep in mind that we the one who's to serve to our learners and to the parents of our learners, not our students and the parents of our learners serve us. Transformational leadership. So, the transformational leadership is not content with status quo and sees the need to transform the way the organization thinks, relates, and does things. So, the transformational school leader sees school culture as it could be and should be, not as it is, and so plays his or her role as a visionary, engager, learner, collaborator, and instructional leader. As a transformational leader, she makes positive changes in the organization by collaboratively developing new vision for the school, organization, and mobilizing members towards that vision. Sustaining change for reforms to transform. So the innovations introduced by transformational leader must be institutional and sustained, or else that innovation is simply a passing fad that loses its flavor after a time. So dapat ikaw nga leader, dapat kabalo ka mag-sustain sang status sang imo nga organization, because if you don't know how to sustain that change, magiging mahimo lang na sa fad nga madula lang and mabalik naman ka sa uno. So a proof that an innovation introduced has transformed the organization is that the result or effect of the change persists or ripples even when the transformative leader is gone or is transferred to another school or gets promoted in the organization. So Murato of Bayan ABS 7 2011 gives the following advice. First, seek the support of the stakeholders. The leader must build a strong coalition allies in order to push for any meaningful change that would yield results. Innovations cannot be forced upon the teachers, the students, the parents, the community without serious consequences. Second, get people involved early and often. Resistance drops off in proportion to the involvement of participants. You may not to expect 100% support from any individual who was not personally involved in a change that affected her work. So it is best to set up networks to reach out to as many people as possible. Third, plan a communications campaign to sell. So the Innovation Murata 2011 asserts the change envisioned must cascade downwards to the last to listen, plan, and ripple sidewards to win the support of major stakeholders. And fourth, ensure that the innovation is understood by all. The benefits and cost must be appreciated and weighed carefully. And lastly, consider timing and phasing. So they are highly critical. Missteps might backfire, and lack of sensitivity to stakeholders might lead to resistance. So here are the takeaways. Amo ni sa among summaries ang akon nga report. And the end. In conclusion, I have three things that I learned from that lesson, which is I believe that I can apply it to myself. So first is, as a leader, we should know the meaning of the word equity, which means equal treatment between the leaders and the members, as well as no to bias as much as possible. So second is, I believe that we are lifelong learners. Not all we knew are rights, and not all rights are we all new. So in fact, or in short, we're not perfect. So in school setting, there are a lot of instances that teachers are comparing their learners into other grade levels, which is not good. There are also teachers who are comparing their standards into their students. Gina-compare nila ang ilang standards. So, dapat kita nga mga teachers maging aware kita nga may ara kita yang nga mga estudyante nga mga late bloomers. Instead nga gina-judge mo sila, gina-degrade mo sila. Instead, dapat you should seek ways how to help them overcome their struggles and difficulties that they were experiencing and that they are having sa kada adlaw nga naga-learn sila. So dapat kita nga mga teacher maging aware kita nga hindi na nila sala nga naging amos na sila. So instead dapat we should know how to cater them. We should know how to become a good educator sa ila. Dapat ma-influence ta sila, ma-inspire ta sila so that mabuligan ti sila nga ma-overcome nila ang ilang nga existing problems sa ilang nga kaugalingon. And lastly is we the leaders, or we should know how to accept constructive criticism and always keep an open-minded. So it cannot be denied that there are a lot of negativities surrounds us and negative criticism nga ginhampak sa aton para nga maguba kita, ma-distract kita. So dapat kita nga mga leaders dapat i-take aside naton ina. Instead, i-motivate naton aton kagalingon nga looking forward pagidya sa aton nga success, or something nga mahimo kita yasang something new nga ma-prove naton sa ila nga they are wrong to their perception toward us. And also dapat maging open-minded kita, which is may ara gid iban nga mga tao nga hindi nila ma-accept ang mga criticism sa ila ginapasulod sa ila nga una-una, and gina-abuse nila ila nga power para lang makabalo sa sina. So dapat maging open-minded kita, i-take aside all the negativities and direct and padayon ka lang sa imo nga ginaobra. And that would be all. Thank you.